This week's episode of INDIgroove is brought to you by Chord Limited. Those design guys at CMB Creative, producers of Draconian Switch webzine, and Erotic Art Week TT.
DMA is the mad artist. When we have this thing about mad people, you can't make up your mind about anything, so you're crazy, yeah? But it's also multi-artistic disciplines. MAD.
What was important to me was looking at particularly deviations in sexuality.
My work actually, in a kind of way, deals with the whole idea of foreplay. Taking body parts and allowing them to assume other parts.
Political eroticism, yeah.
Things that are considered abnormal for a couple could be very well basic things, whether it be like oral sex or some other things, like bondage in particular.
One of my strong areas is the use of found objects and the use of recycled materials. And I have the ability to see shapes. So I will look at something and I will see a shape in it. And that's why sculpture is one of the areas that I find myself drawn to. So I will take something that you would otherwise call trash, non-biodegradable trash, and I will bring a shape out of it, something erotic.
I describe myself as a very erotic being, so I can't, even if I could consciously try to prevent it, it always ends up in there, you know.
Political eroticism basically is the idea of getting under your collar and heating you up with just the thoughts.
I see sometimes that I could put on a garbage bag and I will still feel and I will still look with some level of sexiness in there, because I think I'm a sexual person, and it's without even trying to, gets meshed into the fashion I create.
Mankind, mankind.
The pieces that I actually have in there are all named after earth goddesses from North and South America and the Caribbean.
I think that's a very, very deep, strong, powerful subject for me, because it's like freaking scary and it's like freaking everything. You know, like obsession, but not like, ooh, I'm sex crazed, but like I'm traumatized.
Collection of photos. I started putting together a collection called In the Garden last year. and I kind of imagined it as a sort of like how you would imagine the Garden of Eden.
Yeah, you know, everything is phallic and everything is penetrable, and everywhere you go, they're like spearheaded people wanting to cause you harm every now and then.
You know, there's a purity, there's a variety and stimulation. It's like everything is new, everything is fresh.
Like people say, talk about evolution and civilization, but really and truly we're all savages wanting to procreate. That's like the essential thing. And then there's such strong light, you know, like little kids and pedophilia, and you know, every women must be hairless because of some American puritanical fashion trend that has globalized the world. But you know, don't you think when you see a hairless woman that this is like, reminds me of my 10-year-old sister?
Nisha rang me up and said, we've got this show called Erotica. What have you got? I said, well, I got that big picture I did in 1999, which she's seen, you know. It was done in Kingston, Jamaica 10 years ago. And it was a time when I just stopped teaching and started painting full time, and I was painting lots of figurative things. And this is like a drawing of naked women on top of an abstract painting with various older faces in the periphery of the canvas. And I suddenly realised what it was about, looking back on it now, which is now 2009, 10 years later, was it's about getting old. because as you get old, the erotic women, of course, get younger and younger, and you just get older and older. So in the end, you're just looking. So the picture was called, Reckless Eyeballing.